Okay, we're good. Alright. So I woke up this morning having this idea in mind. I had a few ideas in mind I do every morning and then I normally write about it. But so yeah, this other thing I had in mind, I figured I'd make a video out of it and be in the title of this video, Gemini Problems. um Coming from the Vedic side, I have a Gemini Sun and Mercury, and I also have Ketu there. But coming from no, I'll just skip that. But anyways, something that I found difficult for Gemini is that they can tend to get into things and never get anything done. So it's like, or not exactly reach a full potential of something, because they could get into it, scratch the surface, and then get energy to go do something else. Scratch the surface of that, get into something else, scratch the surface. So they never, I wouldn't say never, but it could be difficult for them to push into getting deep into something like their opposition Sagittarius. Um, so I mean, like that's something that I've seen that could be a problem in Gemini, and because it's like an air sign of thought, like there's not too much action going on with these guys or Gemini. So like even for me, like I could think and think and think of things, but it's like I never get anything done. Like I've gotten into gardening, I've gotten into playing guitar, um, some video games. I've gotten into some projects like um, trying to make stuff out of like TV shows and signals and stuff like that, and broadcasting. Sports, basketball, skateboarding, whatever. It's like I get into it, and then I could do like a few basics of things, and then at some point I just end up going to the next thing. Like I'll be in a guitar this week. Next week I'll be straight into astrology. The next week I'll be straight into playing basketball, and then the next week I'll be into, I don't know if I already said it, playing guitar, or I may have this project, or I'll have this interest, and I'll get into that. And I get into everything at like a basic level, but it's like I can never stick to it. And I'm not sure what what that's all about. I think for Gemini it's important to have a refreshment of an interest level. So like, say if you get into something alone, you can you can push for it as much as you have it in your mind, and then once you get it out, it's like you're done. Kind of like doodling. Like you could draw a little basic picture, stickman figure, and get your general idea out. But after you got it out and you made your point, then it's like, okay, now the next thing in mind. It's like you never finish the whole picture. Or it's like in music, you can make one little weird riff or little piece on guitar or keyboard, whatever. But it's like you never finish the whole song. You just make one little part and then you move on to your next thing. It's like you have all these ideas in your head and you push them out at a basic level, and then you go to something different. So that could be kind of tough to live with, because it's like you can never push to this proficiency level and actually make like a full product out of something. But I do have a couple examples from my own self that actually that kind of went into a beneficial element of skipping from things to things. Like in being creative, you can really be dynamic and very variable and have so much things going on. Like if you were to put every doodle that you did in one picture, you could tell a crazy story. Like if you're playing, like for me last night, I was at my friend's house, we are playing Street Fighter, and it's like when you're playing games like that, it's like, okay, you have this idea, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this to this guy, and then you do it, and then it's like, okay, now I'm in this situation. Now, what do I got to do now? So it's like your mind's always racing, going place to place, place to place. You're always changing style or strategy, and it's just that could be something very creative. If you're to do that with music, like you make one piece and then you make another random piece and you put it together, it's like you could invent a genre with that. It's so it's like there's a good and bad to it, but it's like you just got to keep your mind focused and steady on something. As long as you keep experimenting with something in one way and not have an idea for this here and then have the next idea for something else here. So like say you have an idea to play music and then it's like you have something else in your head. Oh, I want to go write that, and then it's like okay, oh, I got this idea to do this, make this patch, and then you go make a patch, and it's like you just get scattered, and it's like you do little things everywhere, and you have to learn how to put it all together. So it's just kind of tough figuring it all out, especially if you're not aware of it. Like I've been picking up on that recently, and it's like, okay, now I know what I gotta do to stay focused and actually push myself to get better at something. But at the same time, learning things, it's not exactly all that easy. Depends what you're doing. Things could be frustrating to learn. Things could be easy and stimulating to learn, like playing video games and getting good at it. It's stimulating. It's fun. You get to play with other people. Um, so you have to find these certain elements to keep you focused and keep you steady. Anything that's stimulating, like just turn it into something enjoyable and don't make it work. I mean, that's something that I have to tell myself. Like don't like playing guitar. Like I can't just do these repetitive practices all day. Gemini's not a repetitive sign. You have to go from place to place to place to place. So it's like you have to do this practice in this way and then have fun with it. Play with it in a different way. I mean, my son's in the fifth house. I like to be creative. I like to have fun with things. I love to enjoy what I'm doing. And if I'm not, my mind just starts to get, it feels like it gets solid. And it just gets like it's friction. Like there's an earthquake going on with my brain. Both sides are rubbing against each other and causing chaos. It just I have to meditate on that. Otherwise, I'll get a freaking headache. But yeah, I guess that's a little bit about Gemini that I had in mind this morning. Of course, I think I said before, you have to be focused on your whole chart. You can't be focused on one digit out of the whole equation. So I guess I'll leave it at that.